You're listening to Brandon Sports Talk, interviewing professional athletes and Paralympians and Olympians. And now for your professional athlete interview and your host, Brandon P. Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the former Clemson Tigers and NFL outside linebacker Ricky Sapp. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Can you talk
Yeah.
about how you knew that you wanted to get started in playing in professional football?
Well, when I was a young kid, I had an older uncle. I had a cousin, older cousin that played sports, and right away, it kind of sparked my interest. And once I got into playing, I loved it, and I told my parents when I was young that I was going to play in the NFL. So who knew it would happen? But it ended up happening.
Of course, what was that experience like going to Clemson Tigers and playing for the University of Clemson?
It was amazing. I had an amazing opportunity to get recruited by a lot of schools, and you know, I didn't really know too much about Clemson. So, throughout the process, I was actually, looking to go to Florida State, but I kept coming back to Clemson, and I fell in love with it, and I'm so thankful that I made that decision.
Of course, what was that feeling like as a player getting to go to Clemson and being a part of Dabo Swinney's team?
Well, it's amazing. If you know anything about Clemson, it's like a family environment here. You know that we have the best fans in the world, and then just being in the city, it's a whole amazing energy about this place. And then of course, Coach Sweeney is an amazing guy, amazing coach. So I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity to play here.
How was that feeling like getting to put on that Clemson Tigers football jersey?
It's great, especially as a young high school kid from a small town, to play at a Division I school and to put on a uniform and play in front of 80,000 people. It's definitely an amazing feeling.
Of course, for you, what was that feeling like going down that hill in front of 8,000 people on game day?
I didn't want to fall, but it's great, man. It's a feeling that you can't really describe, but it's very exciting, and it makes you appreciate it, even more now as a coach.
How was each of those special moments like getting to touch that rock before you go down the hill?
It's great, it's a special tradition that Clemson football has, and once you become a part of it, you have a lot of respect for that moment every home game.
Being an outside linebacker for Clemson, what were some of your biggest accomplishments while as a player?
I think the number one accomplishment for me was that my senior year, teammates voted me a team captain, and I think that's something I'll never forget.
Of course, leaving Clemson and getting into the NFL, what was that feeling like getting drafted?
Well, it was a kid, a childhood dream. I think the best moment for me was, my mom cry, and then just you know, feeling just thankful and blessed. A lot of joy and excitement.
In 2010, in 2010, what was that feeling like going to the Eagles after getting called from them that you were going to be drafted to the Eagles?
It was great. I've never been to Philadelphia, really the whole Northeast, my entire life. So it was definitely an amazing, amazing feeling, and going up there was definitely different from being from South Carolina. So it was definitely an amazing moment for me.
Of course, what was that like going to play for the Eagles?
It was great. I'll say this: I was a Cowboy fan growing up, so so that whole Eagles and Cowboys is a big rival. But to go play with the Eagles was definitely amazing. Amazing coaches that I had, amazing front office, amazing. Those fans are definitely smart fans, and it was definitely awesome to play in front of playing for them.
Of course, what was that feeling like for you to get to put on your first NFL jersey and getting to
It,
represent the Eagles?
it was cool. It was cool. I still remember it was in Kansas City in the preseason game, and I remember standing there, and one of the guys, the older guys, tapped me on my shoulder, and he was saying, "Welcome to the NFL." So that was definitely an amazing moment for me.
How was that experience different from your first time putting on the Clemson jersey than putting on your NFL jersey?
Uh, you know, the, I think the biggest difference is that now you're in NFL. You with the best of the best. I think every football player that's young has a dream to play in the NFL. So when you actually get there, it's like, wow, this is definitely different, and it definitely feels good to be playing with the best of the best.
Of course, what was that transition like for you going from the Eagles to the Jets?
It was great. Rex Ryan was the coach, and yeah, everybody know he has an amazing personality. So to get to meet him in person and play for him, man, it was so amazing. Just to see how as a person, and then to see how he was as a coach. It was definitely an amazing atmosphere there. And a guy like that, you'd run through a brick wall for. So it was definitely cool to play for him.
After your time as a Jets player, what was it like transitioning over to the Houston Texans?
Uh Man, that's a good one. I was excited. I was excited to to get rolling. Definitely JJ Watt, who probably was one of the best players in the NFL at the time. So I was excited to get down there and play with him and all those other guys that was there. Of course, they had DeAndre Hopkins, who played at Clemson. He was there, so it was definitely great to get down there and to see that it's true that everything is bigger and better in Texas. I really enjoy being in Houston, Texas.
Of course, getting to Houston, what was that experience like getting to play alongside JJ Watt?
It was great, man. That whole locker room was amazing. And to play with him, he made you better because you wanted to make sure that you was doing your part when you played beside such a caliber player like he was.
Of course, what were some of the things that JJ Watt helped you and taught you as a player?
The way he worked, man. You hear about how hard he worked, but to see it in person was truly amazing. So whenever you're around someone like that, it only motivates you to work harder.
Throughout your NFL time, what was it like getting to play with some of your different teammates that also represented the Cle- the Tigers, Clemson Tigers?
It's always great to see anybody that has represented that par in the NFL. So it was so dope to go from different teams and play with some of them. But it's also amazing to also see them play too. So still to this day, of course, I love to see guys that are playing the NFL representing the par.
Of course, what was your experience like going to Washington Redskins after Houston Texans?
That was tough for me because I had no idea that would be the last time that I played in the NFL. So it was tough for me, but it was an exciting moment for me to have another opportunity. Washington has such a lot of great history with football, so it was definitely an exciting moment for me. I guess it was kind of bittersweet.
Through each journey of transitioning from team to team, did you ever get notified before, or did they automatically cut you and then went on?
Yeah, I got notified before. They come down and grab you. So it was never something that happened right at the very moment. It was something that they came and got you and then let you know.
Of course, what was that transition process from going from team to team to team throughout your career?
It's tough because you grow up playing football and never having to really go through that. And so when you get in the NFL and you learn that, all right, you gotta you gotta make sure you show up to work every day and do what you gotta do because it's a revolving door and you just never know. So it was definitely a different experience. And I actually, now looking back at it, I'm glad that I went through it, because it was just part of my journey and it taught me about, you got to go through some failure uh, before you can get to some success.
Throughout your career in the NFL, what has it been like obviously playing alongside some of those big name people like JJ Watt, TJ Yates, and Adrian Foster?
It was awesome, man. Such high caliber players, but even amazing human beings, high character, very smart, intelligent guys. So it was definitely awesome to be around guys like that.
Coming from obviously playing in the ACC and college, what was that like getting to play against some of those different teams that some of those different players that you played against in the ACC?
It was cool, Of course, a lot of trash talk when you get to the NFL and you see some guys you played against in the ACC, especially guys in other conferences like the SEC. It was always good to see them and talk trash. Also, whenever Clemson would play on the weekend and they was playing one of your teammates on your team, that was also some great times and great trash talk.
What were some of your game day routines and rituals like?
Oh well, and so in high school it was, I had to have some good crunk music. I would listen to some music and come in the locker room. Once I got to the locker room, it was focused, quiet. I didn't talk to anybody. I would listen to my music. Same thing at Clemson. Once I got to the locker room, put my headphones on, listen to my Pastor Troy, attitude adjuster. Yeah, it was focused. NFL, same thing. Once I got there and I got in the locker room, put my music on, it was all focused. No talking.
Throughout your career, what has it been like obviously getting to meet your fans and having them ask for your autographs and photos with you?
Well, I think that's a blessing, man. And just to go through the journey, just to go through the whole journey with seeing that you have people that watch you and follow you and have love for you, man, it's awesome, man. It is truly awesome, and man, I'm so thankful that I had some people that enjoyed watching me play.
Of course, as a player, what is that like obviously seeing those fans getting to represent you and wearing your jersey, whether it's from your time at Clemson or your times in the NFL?
It's pretty cool to see. Like I said, you just think about that whole journey of playing football and having people that enjoy watching you play, having people that want to see you do well and be successful, having people that cheer for you, having people that just give you that love and motivation.
Throughout your career, what has it been like obviously getting to represent four different NFL teams and getting to put on a jersey for them?
It was a blessing, man. It was a childhood dream for me to play in the NFL. So, man, to sit here and say that I played for a couple of them, it's funny to me because I grew up watching NFL and to be able to say I played for a couple of them and played 5 years, it's really an amazing feeling.
What has that transition been like for you from going from being a football player in the NFL to then life out after football?
For me, it was tough. It was definitely tough because Um, I wasn't, thinking that I was going to stop playing when I did. So it was definitely a struggle. Definitely went through some depression and anxiety for a little while. But once I figured out what my true purpose in life was, the whole transition became amazing. Once I saw what I really was put here to do.
Of course, looking back through your career, what are some of your fondest memories, whether it's at Clemson or during your time in the NFL?
Man, I think some of the amazing moments for me is making plays and celebrating with my teammates. You know, you spend so much time with these guys in the weight room, on the field, and we know that you can't win without team. So I just wanted to make plays for my teammates and be able to celebrate with them. So I think those are some of the greatest moments for me with my whole journey with playing football.
Now that you're retired, what are some of the things that you're doing outside of the sport of football?
Well, I have my own nonprofit foundation. It's called the Ricky Sapp Foundation, and it's geared towards helping kids. I also do motivational speaking that is geared towards the youth. So I do that as well. I do several events throughout the year with my foundation. And also, I'm back working at Clemson as a strength and conditioning coach and having an amazing time working with these young men as well.
What has that been like, obviously, getting to return back to your alma mater to become the strength and conditioning coach?
It's a trip, man. I played here and now I have the opportunity to coach to coach. It's just like, man, this is how it's a trip because I knew when I played that my coaches were hard on me, and now as a coach, I see why they were so hard on me. So it's definitely an amazing experience.
What has that been like, obviously, getting to step back onto the Clemson campus now as a coach in strength and conditioning?
It's fun. This is home for me. So to be back here and to be in this organization, um, I'm thankful to be back home with family.
How has that been like, obviously, getting to work with those future Clemson players and getting to have them look at your legacy throughout your time at Clemson?
It's cool to be able to work with them and also, try and help motivate them and encourage them, but also learn stuff from them as well. So it's definitely um, been great to be back and watch these young men play on the field and watch them off the field as they grow into amazing young men.
Of course, as the strength and conditioning coach, what is that like, getting to build their strength and getting to see them from their time as a freshman to blossom into a senior?
Well, that's the fun in it, watching them grow and get better. That's what we're here to do. One of the things we're here to do is help them get stronger and help them be able to perform in the field. So when you see that, for us, that's a huge accomplishment. That's one of the reasons why we're here is to help get them stronger and perform well.
Being a former Clemson Tigers football player, how has that helped you into where you are now, showing the people that are in strength and conditioning what it takes to make it into the NFL?
I've just been able to learn, from such amazing coaches and also some older teammates, and now I can use what I've learned with these guys.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to play in college football?
I would say first and foremost, make sure that you're working hard one day at a time. Make sure that you are doing everything you need to do to make that goal happen. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen just because you want it to happen, but you have to put in the work to make it happen.
What advice would you give those college football players looking to go make their dreams happen in the NFL or even going to the XFL?
Well, I would say same thing. Make sure you are working towards that goal. And I think the one thing that I didn't say first was that you have to believe that you can do it. Once you believe it, you have to make sure your work ethic is matching that belief.
What advice would you give those players looking to transition from going from being an NFL to life after football?
I would say have a plan. Don't think that your career is going to go 10, 15 years. Just even if it does, make sure you always have a.
What advice would you give those people going back to their alma mater to whether coach or work in the program for their alma mater?
Man, I would say do it. I think the biggest thing is to reach out to your coaches that you play for, because I know for here, it's a family here, and I think whenever you play for Coach Sweeney, you know that you're a part of the family forever, and that if there's an opportunity, you can always come back home to Clemson.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
So I'm on Instagram as RSAP Foundation. That's my main profile. I also have my motivational speaking page on Instagram, and it's the Dance and Motivational Speaker. I'm on YouTube as Ricky Sapp, Facebook as Ricky Sapp, on TikTok as the Dance Room Coach, and I'm on Twitter, Sapp91.
Thank you again, Ricky Sapp, for your interview, and best of luck in your future wherever it may hold you.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Ricky Sapp, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.